Have you ever pondered why faith without action can be considered hypocrisy? It's a question that might seem puzzling at first, yet it's one that holds profound implications. It's a riddle that invites us to unravel the paradox of faith and hypocrisy. Imagine someone who claims to believe in honesty, yet they lie habitually. Or consider a person who professes to be a believer in love and kindness, yet they constantly mistreat others. These are examples of faith without action, and it's the essence of hypocrisy. It's when our beliefs don't match our behaviors. It's when we say one thing, yet do another. It's the discord between our words and our deeds, between our intentions and our actions. Why is this considered hypocrisy? Because faith, in its truest form, is not merely about beliefs. It's not just about what we say or even what we think. True faith is about what we do. It's about how we live our lives. It's about our actions, and if our actions don't align with our faith, then we have to ask ourselves, do we truly believe what we claim to believe, or are we just paying lip service to our faith? The paradox of faith and hypocrisy is not just a philosophical quandary. It's a practical issue that affects our relationships, our communities, and our world. It's a question of integrity, of authenticity, of congruence. It's about being true to our faith, not just in our words, but in our actions. It's about walking our talk, not just talking the talk. So, why is faith without action considered hypocrisy? Because faith without action is incomplete. It's like a tree without fruit or a song without melody. It lacks substance. It lacks authenticity. It's not real faith, but a hollow imitation. It's not living faith, but a lifeless facade. To understand this better, let's delve into a story that perfectly illustrates this concept. Once upon a time, there were two brothers who professed the same faith. In the heart of a bustling city, these two brothers lived side by side, sharing not only their lineage, but also their belief system. Both brothers were known for their strong faith, but the way they chose to express it was vastly different. The elder brother, let's call him Arjun, was a man of action. His faith was not a mere utterance of words, but a living reality that reflected in his every deed. He was kind, generous, and always willing to lend a helping hand. His faith was like a beacon that guided his actions, illuminating the path for others to follow. He was not just a believer, he was a practitioner. Arjun's faith was not confined to the walls of his home or the sacred premises of his place of worship. It was visible in his everyday actions. He treated everyone with respect. He was honest in his dealings, and he always strived to make the world around him a better place. His faith was not a theoretical concept, but a practical guide to life. On the other hand, the younger brother, let's call him Brijesh, was quite the opposite. He too professed the same faith as Arjun. He was well versed in the scriptures, he knew the rituals by heart, and he could recite the sacred texts with impressive fluency. But when it came to putting that faith into action, Brijesh fell short. Brijesh's faith was like a beautiful painting locked away in a vault. It was admired when brought out on special occasions, but otherwise it remained hidden, making no difference to the world around him. His faith was a mere proclamation, a declaration without substance. As time passed, the brothers' lives took different turns. Arjun, with his faith in action, was respected and loved by all. He was blessed with abundance, not just materially, but in terms of peace, happiness, and fulfillment. His life was a testament to his faith. On the contrary, Brijesh, despite his verbal affirmations of faith, found himself in a constant struggle. His life was a series of disappointments and missed opportunities. He was left wondering why his faith was not yielding the same fruits as his brothers. The tale of these two brothers serves as a poignant reminder of the power of faith when combined with action. It underscores the futility of faith that remains unexpressed in our actions. As you can see, the brother who practiced his faith was rewarded, while the other was left wanting. This tale is not just about two brothers. It's about us, about the choices we make and the lives we lead. After all, faith without action is like a seed that never sprouts. It holds the potential for greatness. But unless it's nurtured and allowed to grow, that potential remains unrealized. The tale of the two brothers illustrates the importance of action in faith. Imagine you're in a race. You have the best running shoes, the perfect weather, and a crowd cheering you on. But you're not moving. You're just standing there, admiring your shoes, basking in the weather, and waving back at the crowd. Now, does that sound like a race or more like a spectacle? This is the paradox of faith without action. It's like having a state-of-the-art kitchen but never cooking a meal, or owning a library but never reading a book. You see, faith is not a decorative item to be admired. It's not a badge of honor to be flaunted. It's a call to action. It's a driving force that should move us, inspire us, and compel us to do better, to be better. Now, let's revisit our tale of the two brothers. Both of them professed faith, but only one put his faith into action. The other brother, despite his declarations of faith, did not act upon it. His faith, in essence, was like a pair of running shoes left unused. It was there, but it served no real purpose. It was, for all practical purposes, a spectacle. This is what happens when faith is devoid of action. It becomes an empty shell, a hollow claim. It becomes hypocrisy. And hypocrisy, my friends, is the antithesis of faith. It's a contradiction that sows seeds of doubt and mistrust. So, how do we prevent our faith from becoming a spectacle? How do we ensure that our faith is not just a declaration but a demonstration? The answer is simple. We act upon it. We incorporate our faith into our everyday lives. We let it guide our actions, our decisions, our interactions. We make it a part of who we are, not just what we believe. Therefore, faith without action is not faith at all but hypocrisy. The trust we place in people is often determined by their actions, not their words. This principle rings true in all aspects of life, but especially when it comes to matters of faith. Imagine two individuals. One speaks eloquently about their faith, delivering impassioned sermons and quoting scripture with ease. Yet, when you look at their day-to-day life, there is a disconnect. They fail to live out the principles they so fervently preach. On the other hand, we have someone who might not have the gift of eloquent speech, but their actions reflect the teachings of their faith. They help those in need, show kindness to all, and consistently strive to be a better person. Who would you trust more? The answer is quite clear. This is because actions are a more reliable indicator of a person's true beliefs and intentions. Words can be crafted, manipulated, and designed to deceive, but actions reveal the true character. This is why we tend to trust those who practice their faith, those whose actions align with their beliefs, rather than those who merely profess it. It's not about perfect adherence to religious rules or doctrines, but about genuine attempts to live out one's faith in one's daily life. In the context of faith, trust is built when we see consistency between belief and action, when the principles preached are practiced. Trust is earned through actions that demonstrate integrity, compassion, and commitment to one's faith. It's about walking the talk, not just talking the talk. We are naturally drawn to those who display authenticity in their faith, those who live their beliefs, not just espouse them. It's not about being perfect, but about striving to align one's actions with one's faith. Trusting someone who practices their faith is about acknowledging the power of actions, the power they have to affirm, to inspire, and to create credibility. Thus, actions truly speak louder than words, especially when it comes to faith. It's not just about what you say you believe, but how you live out those beliefs in your everyday actions. That's where true faith lies, and that's whom we tend to trust. Today, we discussed the paradox of faith and hypocrisy, and the importance of action in faith. We journeyed through the tale of two brothers, illustrating how faith is not simply a matter of verbal proclamation, but of consistent, meaningful action. We delved into the significance of action in faith, touching on how it's the actions that truly manifest one's beliefs, not just the words spoken. We explored how merely professing faith without corresponding action is like a tree without fruits. It's simply not fulfilling its purpose. We also discussed why we trust those who practice their faith. Trust is built on actions, and those who walk their talk, those who live out their faith in their day-to-day lives, earn our trust. They demonstrate that their faith is not just a facade, but a deeply ingrained part of their character. In conclusion, faith is not a passive state. It's an active pursuit, a commitment to living out one's beliefs. Remember, faith without action is hypocrisy, and trust is built on actions, not words.